So, welcome back. We're here on board the Supercede yacht at Monte Carlo Rendezvous 2023. And another special guest joining us. We have Stephen Netherway, partner at Devonshires, here to tell us stories of 10 years attending Monte Carlo. Is that right?
It is 10 years, and been a weird 10 years because you can almost divide it between pre and post pandemic. Before the pandemic, it was pretty hard for a lawyer to be relevant down here. I mean, it's a great conference. It's a working conference, and you really got to know your place. And really, for most of the noughties and the last decade, it's been a market full of innovation, making money, and by and large, quite rightly, people don't really need lawyers when that's happening. But really, the pandemic has sort of drawn a line, and we can see the last 2 years where it's almost like a climate of uncertainty now, and I think there's a fear of unknown unknowns. And I think last year was probably the first time I felt that lawyers being here were relevant. People wanted to talk to us, and in a way I think that's continued this year as well. So, but for the pandemic, who knows? But it's certainly been a dividing line on how the conference is now and how it was.
Yeah, and what have been some of the most interesting issues that the industry, I guess, has had to grapple with from a legal perspective over that period?
It really is the last 2 years, because before the pandemic, I have discussions and people trying to work out how on earth rates would increase.
Yeah.
The big issue before the pandemic is that maybe there needed to be a insured loss to the market of maybe 250 billion. How would rates go up? And then bang, last year. Not only did rates go up, but you saw everyone come here. I mean, everyone came here, and they just needed to get their capacity in place. It was a really different dynamic, and obviously you see capital flows in and out, and that's a pretty good bellwether of how people think the market is and whether there's money to be made. So it's really just all the last 24 months has just completely transformed, for a lawyer anyway, the climate. And I think what we're seeing now is people worried about where things are going. They don't know. There's a climate of uncertainty. We've got losses that are big in number, big in value. We've got losses which hitherto would be secondary, or acting like sort of major losses. And then you've got events like COVID losses, and in a way, the aircraft leasing with the Ukraine war issues, which are politically caused. They're caused by political decisions, and really contract wordings have just simply not ever contemplated that would happen.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? If you think about this space, we were talking a bit yesterday about how the world is changing so quickly, both from what's going on out there, but also internally as the industry. New technologies are becoming available, people are changing the way they work. How have you found that affecting the legal profession and how you interact with insurance?
Well, I think in a way we march hand in hand. I mean, this market will be well ahead of the lawyers, and the accountants will be well ahead of the lawyers as well. But technology, assessment of data, processing of data, taking it away from humans is going to happen. In the market here, it's going to be critical. Can you be the disruptor? Can you get first mover advantage? And in a way, law will mirror that. There are reports of law firms looking at whether they need as many associates now, and the career that I began in 30 years ago isn't going to be the same career that someone coming to law now will face. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah, very, very exciting. And so you've got a couple of days left of the conference. What are your excitement points that you're looking forward to?
Well, I always like to try and meet new people, and maybe a sign that lawyers are relevant. I've actually now got a very packed Wednesday.
Unusual.
I mean, historically Wednesday was always a difficult day. People would go home, but perhaps much to my surprise but delight, I've now got 3 full days as opposed to 2. So I'm certainly looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that will be something to look forward to for all of us, seeing the conference grow, especially post-pandemic. But thank you for joining us on the show. It's been a pleasure to have you on, Stephen.
And it's great being in a Monaco yacht.
Absolutely. When else do you get the chance?
Never.
I'll see you around the event. Thanks again.
Thank you.